Hey gamers, if you like card sitting games all about animals with various ways to play, then you want to check out Frank's Zoo. Let's take a look at how this game plays. In this game, each player will have a hand of cards of various animals, and the goal is to get rid of all of the cards in your hand in order to score the topmost point card of the deck. On your turn, if there are no cards in the center of the table, you can lead a new stack of cards with any of the animals in your hand. Or if there are already cards, you can either play the same animal that's on top, but one more card. So in this case, I could play 2 seals because that is the topmost card and there's only one. Or you can play an outranking animal, so the same number, but a higher value of animal. So in this case, I could play, like I said, 2 seals, or 1 polar bear, or 1 whale. So based on what I have in my hand, I'm going to go ahead and play just 1 polar bear, and then the turn would pass. People, if they don't want to or can't play a card, they can also just pass. They won't draw any new cards or anything like that. They just don't get to play anything for that turn. If it comes all the way back around to me, and it's still the same card that I played, I will wipe those cards, and then I can start a fresh stack. So in this case, maybe I'll play 2 fish because I do have a pair, and again, turn would pass. If I'm able to get rid of all of the cards in my hand, then I would take the topmost point card, and that'll be scored at the end of the game. That is the general way to play the game, and that is kind of how you would also set up for the second round. If you want to continue playing, you will then see how everybody scored, and then based on player count, put together teams where players are going to be able to kind of help each other a little bit as they go into another round of playing cards, but they'll still score points, and then they'll give some point cards to their teammate as well when they run out of cards, and still the player with the most points will win. Overall, I thought that this felt pretty similar to a lot of other card sitting games that I've played. You're going to start a stack, and then you're either going to play more of the same card or cards that outrank other cards. Most of the time in the past, I've seen this a lot with numbers, and 6 is always bigger than 5, that kind of thing. So this was cute because it's animals, and it's just fun to see, like, oh, what animals actually outrank these, and they do the fun little joke about elephants being afraid of mice and that kind of thing, whereas mice usually probably wouldn't outrank anything. So I thought that overall that's fun. The animals that have a lot of different other animals who outrank them, that kind of got a little bit confusing because all of them are squished into the little bubble above the animal's head, and it can be hard to see depending on where you're sitting on the table, how many players are playing, that kind of thing. So that kind of got a little bit messy at times, but it really wasn't that big of a deal. And then overall, I just thought that I wish there was some kind of way to maybe mitigate your hand a little bit, like maybe everybody has to pass 2 cards at the beginning of the round, because if you get a hand of cards that just doesn't work that well, maybe you never get to start, or maybe you just like can't outrank the things that get played because you have a lot of the more land creatures and like sea creatures keep being played early on. I feel like you're just not going to do that well. And that's kind of disappointing if you do have one of those kind of not as good hands. I do like that the first round is often to just like kind of score and see how you do and then break off into those teams. And I thought that that was kind of an interesting way to play, an interesting method, but I also like that that's kind of optional. So I do like there's a couple of ways to play. It does play pretty quickly. It's pretty simple to learn and all that. So I think if you're looking for this style of card game for a filler, or if you're just somebody who really likes card games, then it's worth checking out. But you can check out my full thoughts on the mod today to decide if this one's for you.